Welcome to our 5 on 5. I'm Andrea Boyd. Pleased to be joined by Executive Director for Josephine County Food Bank, Josephine Sze. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so what's going on with Josephine County Food Bank?
That is a great question, and that is also a loaded question. As I'm sure you are very aware, we are in the midst of a food crisis. As the regional food bank for Josephine County, we are responsible for the collection and distribution of emergency food. And last year, we distributed 2.8 million pounds of food through our network of food pantries and meal sites. And even then, it wasn't enough. Since the beginning of this year, we have seen a sharp increase in demand for our services. And we have seen a sharp decrease in the volume of food that is available. At the beginning of this year, cuts to the USDA deeply impacted our food streams. And have made it very, very challenging to feed our community. At the end of every week, our shelves are practically bare. And now, we're in the middle of this food crisis as SNAP benefits have not been issued for November. And in Josephine County alone, there's 25,000 people who utilize SNAP and about 10,000 more who are income eligible. And when I think about what's happening right now, I'm looking at the fact that our food pantries are already overwhelmed and we don't have the food to keep up. And now there are 25,000 people who aren't receiving the money that allows them to put nutritious food on their table. And that is just, it is an impossible situation.
And what is the current SNAP benefit status?
Yeah, well, it's confusing. So earlier this week on Monday, the USDA issued a statement saying that they would release partial benefits for November. However, there is no timeline that's come along with that, nor has there been any indication of what exactly partial benefits means. Roughly half, but on a state-by-state basis, much less a personal basis. We don't know what that means, and we don't know when those benefits are going to arrive for the people that need them.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Josephine Sze. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, I'm joined by Executive Director for Josephine County Food Bank, Josephine Sze. Thank you again for being with us. How does the lack of SNAP funding affect us here locally, food security here locally?
Yeah, so that is a great question. And I have two separate answers that I'm going to give you. The first answer has to do with how people are directly affected. And so as we were talking about before, our emergency food system has already been overwhelmed this year to begin with, right? And so you add in an extra amount of people who all of a sudden don't have access to the food that they need and are now reliant on food pantries, meal sites, to meet that need in a way that they've never had to rely on before. And so it means that we have people who are now having to make these impossible choices, right? Hunger doesn't always just look like not having anything to eat. Oftentimes it looks like trade-offs. So we now have people who have, I think the average SNAP benefit, average SNAP amount is something like $190 per month, depending on your family size. And so we now have people who have $190 a month less to work with. And so the equations that they're running every single day are, am I going to buy food or am I going to pay for my utilities? Am I going to buy food or am I going to pay my rent? Am I going to buy food or am I going to be able to send my children to aftercare programs? And these are scary situations that people are in now. And so it means that people are having to make these really scary trade-offs and choices, and it means that they are going to wind up in food pantry lines. And it means that people are struggling. It means that they're going to struggle, and we're going to do everything that we can to make sure that there is enough food at those food pantries so that people aren't suffering. But the lack of SNAP benefits is causing a huge lack of security in our community. And then kind of the second point that I'd like to make is that SNAP also is a really great economic driver. And so for every dollar spent via SNAP, it generates about $1.50 in like local economic. It generates about $1.50 for like local economics. And so we now have many rural grocers who are very reliant on the SNAP funding coming in as people spend at their grocery stores. Some rural grocers, up to 30% of their income is reliant on SNAP.
And so what should people do if they need food?
Absolutely. First off, I would like to say that food is available to help you. We have a network of food pantries and meal sites all throughout Josephine County, and we are getting as much food as we possibly can to those sites so that there is food for people who need it. Please look on our website, jocofoodbank.org. We have a Get Help page that has a downloadable file of all of our resources, as well as an interactive map so you can find the pantry closest to you.
All right, that is all the time we have. Josephine Sze, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.